all the Super Bowl promotions, and just all the stuff with the NFL. And I'm like, God, that is one of the smartest businesses I've ever seen. Right? To be quite frank, right? Next segment, you'll kind of see, why I've been thinking about business. Talking to our guest who's very, very versed, for lack of a better term, in business, in kind of what the NFL does, what other leagues do, why they're good at what they do, right? But nonetheless, I'm looking at it, I'm marveling, right? I'm like, that's a spectacle, right? The Super Bowl, that's not a game. That's not just even an event. That is an entire week and a half spectacle, right? No other sport could even come close, right? And I mean, you look at the NFL, what they own like 10 or 11 months of the year, right? Obviously, you have the first games are in September. Well, the first 2 months before that, August and July, OTAs, training camps, preseason. Who's getting hurt? Who's getting traded? Where's everybody going? New contracts, right? And then you go the whole season, obviously. That's king during the season. And then what? You have the off season, which has become just as exciting, right? It used to be like the MLB Hot Stove League. NFL is pretty exciting. There's a pretty exciting little off season there, right? Then you have what? The draft, the combine, right? You have free agency. So I'm looking and I said, well, what do they do really, really well, right? Clearly it's something. Right? The NFL in 2021, they made $16.7 billion in revenue. The MLB's second with 10. With 10. It's not even close. I mean, for the social media, box score watchers who claim they know the NBA and that's the number one sport, wrong. How about 8.8 billion? No, I'm not saying, it's chump change, but compared to the NFL, it's not even close. It's not even close. The NFL almost doubles hoops. The NFL kind of, to me, feels like Apple or like Amazon, right? Just evolving, changing, adjusting, pivoting. Right, about 25 years ago, they used to be a sport where it's like inflict maximum amount of pain on your enemy, right? On the opposing team. Can you knock out their quarterback? Can you hurt more people on their team than they will on your team? If so, probably gonna win. Now it's highly nuanced. It's finesse. It's technical. And the NFL's leaned into that. Or you can hate Goodell, but nobody's been better for a league's growth than Roger Goodell. I mean, 2006 he took over? When he took over, the NFL was making $7 billion annually. 7. Now, granted, inflation, all this, right? Values go up as time goes on, but they don't more than double in that amount of time, right? That is exponential growth, spearheaded by Roger Goodell, right? Why? Obviously, they're pivoting, but have you ever seen a better base of leaders for a league? I mean, has the league ever been in better hands? Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, right? I mean, they're exemplary. That's exactly who you want leading a business. I know they're athletes, so it's not quite thought of in the same way, but there's your board right there, right? If you're a big tech, big insurance, whatever, there's your top 10 guys. There's your executives. And I mean, could you be luckier? They bust their ass, they see success, and then they just keep grinding. I swear to God, if you give Jalen Hurts a compliment, I don't even think he hears it. I really don't. I think he just turns around and gives it. That's not me. That's Jason Kelsey. That's Lane Johnson. That's Nick Sirianni. That's A.J. Brown. I'm just amazed every day by the state of the league. And people always ask, why do we talk mostly football? Well, to be honest with you, it's the best product, to be quite frank. Perfectly fits on a TV set. It's just built for American TV. Right, so it's the best product. It's viewed by the most people. And almost everybody can relate to it. Everybody can. The 250-pound dude sitting on the couch drinking Miller Lights can relate to the offensive guard who's in the trenches. And he's probably going to tell you about how he played offensive guard in high school. And you're going to be, he would have went D1, but he blew out his knee. It's relatable. And it's fun when you hear your crazy uncle talking about that, right? The NBA is the exact opposite. I mean, the players are all 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and above. The majority, right? I know your Stephs, your Kyries are a little smaller. And by the way, I don't think people realize how big that is, right? Think of the tallest person you know. Think of the tallest person you know. Bet you $100 they're under 6'6". You look at him, you're like, that's a massive human being. Granted, you probably know maybe 2 to 3 people that are actually NBA-sized human beings. It's ridiculous. It's not even, you can't even relate to that, right? And also, I'm going to be honest, the stars are pretty unlikable. I think LeBron has kind of won back some fans. He's considered the best. Even him probably would not sit down to have a beer with LeBron. I'm going to be honest with you. I respect him. He's great. Probably the best of all time. I'd argue him over Jordan. Probably a great guy. 100% would not hang out with LeBron. KD complains more than I've ever seen anybody complain. Kyrie can't stay out of the news. I think Luka's fundamentally infuriating to watch. I mean, every possession you'd think the defender killed his family or something. I mean, just the grief he gives the officials. I mean, literally every single possession. It's horrific. It's to be honest with you, it's unwatchable. I like Giannis, but he's so good it's almost boring. Well, like the NBA is not highly digestible, except in these little tiny 7-8 second highlights where you can see LeBron fly down the court, absolutely yam on somebody's head, and everybody goes nuts. That's why it's the best highlight league, social media league. The NFL is different. That's a different beast. That's a different animal. Where you don't plan days, weekends, months, an entire season of the year around an NBA game, around an NBA season, around an NBA series, whatever. Right? You just don't, even baseball. The NFL, you literally set aside, you're like, hey, every Sunday for the next, 4 or 5 months, don't talk to me, don't call, don't text. I'll be sitting ass in front of TV, Miller Lite, Buffalo chicken dip, don't call, don't text. Right? Every Sunday. Every Sunday for 20-some weeks. It's just known. That's a fact. Right? You don't do that for the NBA. Guys, the Lakers are on. Well, it's a Tuesday at 10:45. They're on the West Coast. They're playing Sacramento. I'm not watching that. I don't care. The NFL's king. It's honestly impressive. It's easily the best league, and I've just been marveling at it the past week. That's kind of what's been on my mind. This little rant here was like the epitome of a shower thought, right? Like I'm sitting there, I'm listening. I'm just listening to a podcast about the NFL, about football, about sports. Just talking about the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, it's so impressive. It's insane.
It is.
The amount of revenue generated is just out of this world.
It gives us something to talk about year round. Everybody always comes up and they're like, oh, well, football season's starting to come to a close. Is the cast going to update? Are you gonna pivot away from it a little bit, get into some more things? Yeah, we start to get into some baseball and some hockey. But
yeah.
The NFL is so good that no matter what time of the year it is, we always have something to talk about. So, like, the Super Bowl will finish this week. But then that gives us coaching changes. And then that gives us off-season, free agency stuff, people moving around. Huge stories come out of that. And then before you know it, it's pro days. And then it's the draft. And then it's OTAs. And you're right back into the season again. The NFL does a fantastic job.
And that's an exciting point of year. We kind of get to go get those big opinions. And this segment here,